Okay, the hair is frizzy today. I don't have time to mess with it. It's just gonna do what it wants. Hello, my name is Hannah. I am a Christo-pagan witch. I have videos about how and why that works. But today, I wanted to talk about some of my witchy goals that I have. I don't necessarily want to call it like New Year's resolutions because for one thing, we're a little late to that. But just things for myself that I want to pursue, work on, things like that, and maybe it'll resonate with some other people too. So with that being said, here's the tea. This is my Loki mug. You can get it from my shop. You can also get this shirt from my shop. So my first kind of goal is I want to start using dowsing rods because apparently someone in my ancestry, and by that I mean like 2, 3, 4 generations back, was a water witch, which could mean a couple things, right? It could mean literal water magic, or the use of dowsing rods is called water witching. I don't know what the case was, but I did some tarot readings, some divination to confirm, and I kind of want to pursue a little bit of both. So it's like, okay, just to like honor that ancestor work and carry down the magical legacy that has been lost in, my family tree a little bit, and kind of bring that back and carry that onward. So eventually when I have some fun money, they're not that expensive, but when I have some fun money, I want to get dowsing rods. And there's so many books about like the history of dowsing rods. I didn't know that there was so much complexity and history behind them. So I would want to get some books and like really learn about it more. And then also start pursuing more like actual water magic, because again, I heard that this ancestor was a water witch that hung out by the river and read tea leaves. So that's all I know. But so with that, water witching with the dowsing rods, but also actual water magic, again, to just sort of get in touch with that and carry on that sort of legacy. In that same vein, I want to get better at reading tea leaves. I have started doing it a little bit, but I'm still kind of in the place where, I'm able to scribe pretty well. I'm able to get decent pictures in my tea leaves of what's happening there. But I still either have to reference a book or Google to be like, okay, what does it mean if I see a giraffe in my tea leaf? And I've had a similar problem with tarot in that I've been reading tarot for like 3 years now and still do not have all the cards memorized. So if you see me do readings, I have the keywords on the cards. I can still give a damn good reading, but I don't have them all memorized. So maybe that will be the case with tea leaves, where I'm just not gonna get all of the things memorized. But maybe I need to start a journal specifically for my tea leaf readings and see, okay, this symbol means this, and have I noticed that meaning, coming into my life this past week, things like that. I think it'd be really beneficial to me. Next, I want to spend more time outdoors. I'm really not an outdoorsy person, mostly because I'm really afraid of bugs. That is the biggest thing that prevents me from going outside, especially at springtime. There's bees, and I understand that bees are like the most important creature in our ecosystem that is vital to our existence. I am so scared of them. And spiders, and we live right by water, so there's all kinds of mosquitoes, and I'm so scared of bugs, and it's cicada season. So all of these things prevent me from going outside a lot, but it's like, okay, if I get some bug spray and citronella candles and have it out there, then maybe it'll be okay. And when I am outside and I'm like getting in touch with the grass and the trees and the spirit of the air and the earth, like it is such a powerful experience until I hear a buzzing in my ear, and then I'm like, what? Like I can't do it. So really my goal is to find a way to keep the bugs away from me without harming them so that I can enjoy the outdoors. here's the thing. You don't have to constantly be outside in order to be a good witch, because you might live in a city or a really urban area where there's not a lot of outdoor space, and that can be really difficult. Or you may be disabled or have other mobility issues to where it's difficult to be outside all the time. Whatever ability you have that works best for you to be outside when you can, you should take up that opportunity. Because witchcraft, is very earth-based. But again, don't feel pressure. Do what's best for you. It's just a personal goal of mine to get outside more, take more stupid walks for my stupid mental health. I live in an area that has lots of trails. Like, I live in Indianapolis. The Monon Trail is near me, and I still haven't done it yet. I've been telling my boyfriend, we need to go do the Monon Trail. But I digress. I have this really big, beautiful backyard. I should be utilizing it more, meditating outside more, doing spells and rituals outside more. So that is also a goal of mine. Next, I want to really learn how to cook better. And I'm kind of getting there. The thing is, let me tell y'all something. I can bake. Okay, if you want some really good snickerdoodle, yeah, I can't cuss. I'll bleep it out. It's fine. If you want some really good snickerdoodles, cake, that is my area of expertise. But we can't be having cookies for dinner. So I want to try and make actual meals better, partially for kitchen witchcraft, but also health. And you can only have air fryer chicken nuggets for dinner so many times before you just start to lose your ever loving mind. So, that's part of it too. But also, my friend Sarah Restressen, who is another Christian witch, she's also a kitchen witch, and every time she makes a video of her meals, I get so jealous. So I'm just like, okay, I need to get started on this. So, I've gotten better with quote unquote meal planning. I can't have the same meal every day. I can't do it. But planning out okay, on Monday we're gonna have this, and on Tuesday we're gonna have this, and things like that. I'm starting to somewhat get better at. And again, I think that will also put me in touch with the earth, even if I'm not going outside, really resonating and being, intentional with, vegetables that I'm putting in a pot, treating soup like a simmer pot or a potion. What's that one? Soup is witchcraft, soup is potion, these things that come from the earth, and being really intentional about the things that I put in my body. And again, not everyone is able to do that. You may have certain dietary restrictions or budget or whatever. Again, this is just something that is personal to me. I am within the means to start cooking better, and to potentially make that a part of my craft. So I would like to do that. My next goal is to start working on my big old grimoire again. I have another one that I have filled. And this was my first one, and I actually talked about it in my Witchcraft Mistakes video. That's what all of these tabs are, is all the places that I've fluffed up. Now again, this is personal to me. I wanted my grimoire to be really pretty, almost like a piece of art. Yours doesn't have to be like that. In fact, really what I do is I write my sloppy notes, quote unquote, just regularly like this. I refer to my sloppy notes as my book of shadows and my fancy notes as my grimoire. I jot down everything here first. This is where I can have my sloppy handwriting and scribble out and I keep saying swear words. Used to YouTube. But yeah, where I can scribble and be sloppy and make mistakes, and then I kind of perfect it in my grimoires. So that first one I already kind of filled up, and then I moved on to this big one. And again, you don't have to have something like this. Really, my whole reasoning behind it is for it to really just be an artistic outlet. And if I have children one day, obviously I would never make them go on the witchy or pagan path if they didn't want to. But if they did want to, I would love to have something like this to pass down onto them. And even if not, when I die, I want my family looking through my belongings and going, what was she up to? I got decently far into this. These are stencils that I use to make it more like artsy and pretty, because I can't actually draw, so I use stencils. So I got about this far into it, but I have all of this left. I haven't touched it in probably a year, but again, just for, I have a very artistic job, obviously, but I mean, that's for work, and I still enjoy it. But at the end of the day, no matter how much you love your job, it's still a job. So I would love to get back into this to just have an artistic outlet for me. Which leads me to my next point. I want to do more things for myself. I make these candles for you guys and oils, and I take spell commissions from clients, and I love doing that. I'm not going to stop doing that anytime soon. But I do want to do more spell work for me. I want to spend more time praying, meditating, doing various rituals, doing divination for me. Again, I love doing that for you guys, but I feel that, I have become such a workaholic that I have kind of neglected making my practice be for me, which I kind of talked about in my last video as well. So one of my goals is definitely to just prioritize myself a little more. And finally, my last goal, it's starting to rain, so it might get a little noisy here. But my last goal is to talk to Jesus more. I am a Christian witch, Christo-pagan. And I do have pagan deities in my space. I can get into that more if you guys want me to. There's a lot of history behind that, but I feel like, Jesus has been with me all my life. I grew up Christian. And when I started welcoming pagan deities into my space, there was such this intrigue with them. And again, in the whole grand scheme of my entire life, pagan deities are still relatively new. And I think it's normal to, when new entities or deities are in your space, you want to explore them and get in touch with them more. But because of that, I feel like even though I talk about Jesus on my page all the time, and I'm doing this Christian witch collaboration with Sarah and Mimi, those are still available, by the way. Again, going back to doing things for myself in my own personal practice, I feel like I have put my personal connection with Jesus kind of to the wayside. And I really want to reconnect with him more. And I felt really connected to him reading Discovering Christian Witchcraft. I feel like maybe implementing more Christian witch-based stuff into my grimoires as an artistic outlet, as a form of active meditation, and listening to more music that I feel resonates with him. Some Christian worship music is just kind of icky to me. Maybe that's the religious trauma talking. But connecting with him more specifically, I think, is something that I need to get back into. That's it for my goals. So that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe. Check out my past videos. I have a whole deity work 101 video. People ask me all the time, how do I work with deities? How do I do offerings? I also have a video all about how to do spells as a Christian witch, because a lot of people wonder, is it any different from regular witchcraft? So go take a look at those videos if you have those kinds of questions. Also, I have a Patreon with lots of educational witchy content and Discord access. So if you want to be a part of a Discord server with other like-minded witchy people of all walks and paths and practices, everyone subscribe to Patreon, regardless of tier, gets access to that. Be sure to follow me on TikTok and all my other social medias, and all of those things will be linked in the description. So thank you guys so much. This is 3 weeks in a row that I've uploaded to YouTube, guys, and I have other video ideas too. So we're gonna try and keep this up, and before we know it, I will qualify for monetization, because TikTok changed their monetization policies again.